What's up, people? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about the Connacht Championship. We're going to go in depth, we're going to do a preview, we're going to talk about all things Connacht coming up in today's video. So if you haven't subscribed already, consider doing it on this channel. We do previews, we talk predictions before games, we talk about all the big incidents after matches, of course. We talk everything GAA, football, hurling, absolutely everything, covering all angles of the GAA. And I'm really looking forward to the Connacht Championship this year, lads. What an interesting campaign this is going to be, because I think normally going into every Connacht Championship you would always just automatically pick Mayo to win it, because they have just been by far the superior team in that province in the past couple of years. However, they actually haven't won the Connacht Championship since in the last 2 seasons. So coming into it this year, it's actually a lot more, Galway have had you can make a case for them, because they've had a fantastic league campaign, reaching the league final, finishing ahead of Dublin, finishing first. Obviously they got beat by Dublin in the league final, but they were still unbeaten in the league stage. And of course Roscommon come in as the current holders, come in on a high after winning the Division 2 final against Cavan. So this is going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be, I suppose though, but before we start talking about Galway, Roscommon and Mayo, there are 4 other teams that are competing in this Connacht Championship. Of course you've got Leitrim, Sligo, New York and London. New York and London, of course, pretty much there just to make up the numbers. They're pretty much there just for Leitrim and Sligo, just so they can have an extra game. Otherwise it would just be unfair. Leitrim and Sligo would play 1 game, they wouldn't get to win a game, and that'd be it, So I think we should probably talk a bit about New York, London, Leitrim and Sligo before talking about Galway, Mayo, etc. So yeah, let's move on. They have the smallest population in the whole country, so it makes sense. Everyone just wants to leave Leitrim. I don't know why. I'm sure it's a fine place, but they want to get jobs and stuff, so everyone just leaves Leitrim. It leaves them with barely any players, barely any clubs, and they just they suffer as a result. They finished behind London in Division 4, which probably just goes to show maybe how poor of a campaign that they have had. And pretty much though, the way that the draw goes, that they'll play actually New York in a quarter final, which I'd expect them to win. If they didn't win that, I'd get, you gotta win that at least, and you get a nice out trip to New York as well. So there you go. But that would mean they would play Roscommon in the semi-final, and that would be that for Leitrim. Then on the other side, of course, it would be Sligo, I think, who play London, and they play the winner of Mayo and Galway. And to be fair to Sligo, they had an okay campaign in Division 3. They didn't get relegated, which was good. They didn't get promoted. They won 2 games. Captain, of course, by McDonald, who's a decent footballer. And it just didn't really work out for them. And I would expect them, to get through to that semi-final, to beat London. But again, coming up short against either Mayo or Galway in the end. So then that leaves Mayo, Galway and Roscommon, and this is about as open as anything really in terms of who could actually win the Connacht Championship. Mayo are Mayo, aren't they? And you would still almost look at their campaign from last year, when they played from August onwards, and you think if they could reproduce that form going into the Connacht Championship this year, you'd have them as favourites. Surely they'd win it, wouldn't you? You think they could win it, but the problem with Mayo is they don't start playing football until August. That just seems to be the way they do it. And I look at this and I feel maybe if they're on the other side of the draw and they were playing Leitrim or something like that, and then they were playing Roscommon, I feel like they'd gain momentum, they'd gain confidence. But the fact they're playing Galway first, it's just a bad draw for them, I think, because Galway will relish it. They'll be more up for it. They'll be more championship ready, and I think Mayo will struggle with that as a result. And for the likes of Stephen Rochford, Lee Keegan, Aidan O'Shea, all these fantastic Mayo players, I feel like this is probably the last year for them if they really do want to win this All-Ireland, because I just feel like I can't see them reaching another final, losing it, and then coming back a year later again. That would just be really harsh. Do you know what I mean? Come on, Mayo lads. So I feel like that would be too harsh on them. I just don't believe in them this year. I don't think they'll do it this year. I know everybody every year tends to write them off, but even when they get to the finals, they still lose. So I expect something very similar from Mayo this year, to go out in the the first round as it is in the Connacht Championship, go through the qualifiers, scrape through a couple of rounds, get to the Super 8s Championship. But I feel like that is where they will eventually lose this year. That will be their final step, is playing those 3 matches in the Super 8s Championship, and then as a result going out and not reaching an All-Ireland semi-final. And then you've got Galway, and what a revelation they've been this year, of course, reaching the National League final, finishing ahead of Dublin in the league stage, unbeaten of course, and they actually gave Dublin a good run for their money as well, didn't they? They finished like 2-3 points behind, so Galway are looking very good at the moment, and I'm pretty confident they're going into this Connacht Championship as favourites in my opinion. The only difficulty for Galway is that they're going to have to do this the hard way. They're going to have to beat Mayo, then they're going to have to beat probably Sligo, and then eventually Roscommon, whereas Roscommon will just have to play Leitrim and then go to the final. So it's going to be tougher for Galway. There's going to be more matches, but I feel like that will benefit them more. I feel like playing Mayo, initially they're going to be up for it more than Mayo are, just because of how good of a campaign Galway had, and the fact they've got a good record against Mayo in the past couple of years in the Connacht Championship. And I'd expect Galway, to get the job done against Mayo. And then if they faced either Sligo or London as it is, and if Galway are going to win the Connacht Championship, they're going to heavily rely on the likes of Shane Walsh, Barry McHugh and Gary O'Donnell to get them over the line in this Connacht Championship and get them yet another Connacht title. And they'll be pretty sour, they'll have a sour taste in their mouth from that Connacht final last year when they played Roscommon. They went in as favourites and they got beaten pretty badly, and when you look at how Mayo then went and beat Roscommon in the All-Ireland quarterfinals, I'm sure Galway look back and think we missed out on a real opportunity to win the Connacht title. And although it'll be much harder for Galway this year because they're going a more difficult route, they have to play Mayo, then they have to play Sligo and then Roscommon, I still feel like they have it in them to do it. But you can't knock Kevin McStay, because I think when you look at the job he's done at Roscommon and you look at the current state of football in Roscommon, they are completely on the up at the moment. They are on the rise, and winning the Connacht Championship last year would have given them so much confidence. And I don't think they were as good in the league as people would have expected, but yet they still managed to win the Division 2 title. They're really attacking. They play a really open, expansive attacking football with the likes of Donny Smith and Kieran Murtha, leading the line as such, and Conor Devaney of course as well is another fantastic player. And Roscommon, they're a team that's still learning, that's still developing. Maybe next year we'll see the very best of them, but I look at it this year and I think I would actually probably put my money on them to win the Connacht Championship, to be honest, just because of the way they play. I don't think will suit Galway. Galway of course like to play that defensive blanket defence, and I feel like Roscommon will be so attacking that it could baffle Galway. But then again, Galway could control the game, control a 2 and 3 point advantage in that final. Look, listen, we don't want to start predicting Connacht Championship finals before a ball has even been kicked, but I would fancy it to be Galway and Roscommon in that final. And if it was them two teams, I would back Galway just to win by 2 or 3 points. And but look, listen, if Mayo beat Galway, I would probably fancy Mayo, to be honest, because if Mayo lined up against Roscommon in that Connacht final, I would look back to that game from last year and think, look, listen, Mayo beat Galway. They obviously, I fancied them to beat Sligo. Imagine they lost that, and then it was, Mayo versus or Mayo versus Roscommon. I would fancy Mayo, but it's going to be between them three anyway. There isn't going to be any other upsets. I'll go with Galway to do it by 2 or 3 points, just because they're coming in with the momentum, and the way they play will frustrate Mayo. It will frustrate Roscommon of course as well, but Roscommon and Galway, I still think they're going to have a really good year in the championship this year. But yeah guys, that is going to be the end of the video. If you haven't subscribed already, consider doing it, drop a like, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'll probably be back with a Leinster Championship preview and a Munster Championship soon. I know that sounds crazy because it's like, is there even a point predicting Leinster? We already know what's going to happen. But we'll dive in. We'll see. Is there anyone else in Leinster that could do something magical? Probably not a chance. But anyway, that's going to be that. I'll chat to you when I chat to you, and yeah, good luck, peace out, bye. Okay, good luck, right, good, yeah, see ya.